Okay, guys. So in the previous video, we have seen that the creation of the entities, establishing the relationship between the entities, and also installing the necessary packages for the AF code. Now let's create a DB context class, and we will be having the mapping across uh, the entities and the database. So we are going to use the DB first approach, with the help of which we will be generating the database from the entity design and the DB context. So in the models folder, I'm going to add a new class here, and I'm going to name this as company DB context. I'm using the word company here because I want to generate a database of name company. Now let us derive this class from DB context, right? This is coming from Microsoft.entity framework core. This class is a unit of work which represents or rather I should say manage the connection with the database, and also helps us in creating the mapping configuration. So how the entities and their properties will be mapped to the table, right? And what is the relationship across the entities? All the things are going to be here. Now, once we have that, the next thing here is that we will be adding the DB set properties. So it's a cursor that represent the rows or record set in a where or using which we are able to perform the CRUD operations. So here I'm going to have prop DB set of department departments. Let's take the pluralization, and I'll say the prop DB set of employees, right? Okay, that's what that we are creating. And then after that, over here, oops, so here, let me modify that. So, okay, and we will also override the on configuring method, and in this configuring method we will be adding the connection string. So what we are going to do is that in this we will be adding the connection string with the database. So here we'll say that option builder dot use SQL server. Okay, and then we are going to add a connection string. So here I'll say that the data source, which is my server. So I'm having a SQL server which is running on my machine. Okay, and like it's my local instance, so I'm gonna use dot, or you can have IP address, or you can also make a use of the server name, machine name. If you are having the SQL server on Azure SQL, then that Azure SQL instance name that you can put here. Okay, that's what it is. I'm gonna have the expected database name or here initial catalog as company, and then my credentials. So I'll say integrated security is equals to SSPI, right? That's what it is. And then I'm also gonna overwrite on model creating method, and in this on model creating method, what I'm actually gonna do is that I'm gonna have the mapping that has been written over there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do for that purpose over here is that, okay, I'm gonna specify the one-to-many relationship between the department and employee. So if you see that in a department entity class, we have collection of employees, as well as in employee class, we do have the reference for the department. We have that. So now, considering that, we will be defining the relationship. So here, I'll say that model builder entity here, I'm gonna have the employee that has one one department. Okay, and the department, okay, here, so I'm gonna have that D goes into D dot dpt number, sorry, the department. Okay, department property that we have, and then I'm gonna have that with many. So department has multiple employees. So I'll say that E goes into E dot employees. Okay, that's it. And then I'll say that dot has foreign key. Okay, and I'm gonna say here that D goes into D dot DPTNO. So DPTNO, this is gonna be a foreign key. So here I'll say that this is my right uh, one one to one, right, and here I have one to many. Okay, that is what that we have. Okay, so that type of relationship here. That's what that we are putting it. Right now, once this has been done over there, okay, what I'm gonna do is that like now I'm gonna run the necessary migrations. We'll also add a constructor over here. Okay, we'll also add a constructor, and then I'm gonna make sure that the instance of the company DB context is ready for the migration creation. So that's what it is. Now, one important part over here is that DB context is that this has those DB sets. Ultimately, they are the record sets, or I can say cursors, which with the help of which we are going to perform the CRUD operations. So, Entity Framework Core provides us the pseudo code kind of thing, simple methods, with the help of which we are actually going to perform the insert, update, delete, right? Okay, those types of operations over here. Okay, so what is that pseudocode altogether? So I'm going to add one MD file over here, a new item. Let me make this as here text. I say readme.md, and then here, okay, here it will be the name of that will be readme.md, and what I'm going to have is okay. So let's see text file, and here it is my readme.md. Right. So here we have a kind of a pseudocode over there. So let's say that uh, we have the CTX as an instance of DB context, and then let's say that we have employees as a DB set of employee, where employee is our entity class. So here now, the first thing first, reading all records, right, from employees. So here we'll simply say that where EMPS is equals to CTX dot employees dot to list here. Right. So I'll say that employees is a DB set and we are directly reading all the records from that. We can how this operations perform asynchronously. So we can say async here. We can do it. Similarly, we can basically find a record based on primary key. So we can do it like this. Here, say where emp is equals to, I can have ctx dot employees dot find, both synchronous and asynchronous. We have find async, and here we can pass primary key value. Right. Similarly, then we do have right ctx dot employees dot add right or add async to add the new record over here, and then we have the method called as ctx dot save changes, or we have dot save changes async, right, for performing a synchronous add. If at all you want to perform multiple record adds, then in that particular case we can use the add range, right, where we can have multiple or multiple record insert. We can do it. Okay, similarly then we can also have the next operation is to write here delete a record. So we can simply first of all search record based on primary key. Okay, search record based upon primary key, which we do it like this, and then what we do is that we basically remove record, right, from db set. So we do it like this here. I'll say that ctx dot employees dot remove, and then we pass the employee object to it, and then finally we say again save changes. Okay, so the thing is that this simple type of approach is been given to us, right, through the DB set as well as DB context to manage the transactions with the database. Okay, of course, then over here, right, what we are going to do it for update again for update, right? We can do again search record based on primary key. Then what we'll do is that we'll say update each property value, and then finally, right, call save changes or save changes async, right? We can do it. So once we are having the context ready, what we will have to do is that we will have to run the migrations, and then after running the migrations we can make a use of this type of methods right over here to perform the current operation. So we will be doing that, okay, in a next video over there. Thank you.